We're on day 3 of this atmospheric river in Southern California, but we're also going to have severe weather for Ohio and the Northeast. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. It's November 15, 2025. If you watched yesterday's video in Southern California, it's pretty much a continuation of that, as we've had a lot of heavy rain from last night, this morning, and it's going to continue on until mid-afternoon. The heaviest amount of precipitation is pretty much going to be happening now as this video is being posted around 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, and it's going to continue on until about 3 p.m. Pacific time. And once it hits after 3 p.m. throughout the day and throughout the night, we're going to see isolated showers. And also after 3 p.m., a lot of this rain is going to be headed into the Central California Valley, where you're going to see light to moderate rain. And also after 3 p.m., we're going to see a lot more heavier rain in places like Southern Nevada and Northwest Arizona. And then by late tonight and maybe even tomorrow morning, places like Utah are going to see remnants of these showers as well. So the biggest risk today is still going to be flash flooding, as the Weather Prediction Center is still issued a moderate risk, especially for the Los Angeles area. And we're going to have a slight risk going from Southern California to places like Nevada and Arizona. And so we're going to have a flash flood risk, not only because it's going to be a lot of rain, but because this place is very urban, which is going to have a hard time handling a lot of rain at once. But also these mountain ranges have seen a lot of burn scars recently. And this is happening because if we look at 500 millibars of midway to troposphere, we have this cutoff low that cut away from the main jet stream into the Southern California area. And there's two high pressures that I want to point out, one in the Central Plains, and these high pressures are significant. The one in the plains is kind of helping stall the low pressure that we see in California. Because that's clockwise flow, it's helping bring in that moisture from the Southern Pacific area into the Los Angeles area. And then of course, with low pressure being counterclockwise flow, it's also helped reinforcing that moisture advection into the area. Looking ahead, something else I want to point out is that we do have another low pressure that's going to be doing a very similar effect that we're seeing today, but for tomorrow. And so we're going to have a low pressure coming from the Northern Pacific area coming down to California. And so throughout the California coast for tomorrow, we're going to have a marginal risk for flash flooding again. Okay, so now for the Northeast, looking at 500 millibars, we have a shortwave trough coming through, and that's going to help reinforce the shear and a little bit of spin, which is going to help with the updraft. Because if we look down on the surface, we're going to have a low pressure that's going to be coming in. One, it's going to be bringing in a warm front, which is going to bring in some warm, moist air. But then right behind it, we're going to have a cold front, bringing in that cool, dry air, and that's going to help with the thunderstorm development. And so starting with upstate New York, as early as around 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to see some scattered, isolated thunderstorms. And the main line of storms are going to form from Ohio all the way to New York, and it's going to happen around 6 p.m. Eastern time. And these line of storms are going to be traveling eastward. And so by tonight, places like West Virginia are going to see some storms, and then also for the Northeast in general are going to see some storms overnight and maybe into the morning as well. The Storm Prediction Center did issue a marginal risk for places like Ohio and Pennsylvania, where there is an isolated chance to see winds up to 60 miles per hour. And so with this low pressure in Canada, counterclockwise flow, bringing in that northwesterly flow, and this cold front bringing back those freezing temperatures, we're going to have lake effect snow again for places southeast of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. And that's going to happen tomorrow morning and pretty much throughout the day tomorrow.